Hi everyone, Tai Chi Susan here, and today we're going to talk about shoulder pain. The shoulder is a unique joint in our body, and it does go through a lot of abuse throughout our life, and so by the time we're 50 years old, guaranteed we've got some kind of pathology going on. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world or that we need to run off and have surgery. Just a little bit of knowledge will take you a long way to caring for your shoulder for longevity of use. The first thing I will cover in this little mini series is the presentation of pain and what that pain means as far as specific to different pathologies that occur with the shoulder. Then we're also going to go over specifics of what a rotator cuff tear or partial tear might look like and how it presents. And then we will, most importantly, I'll discuss very simple but highly effective strategies to reduce or even eliminate your shoulder pain. And finally, I will tell you how to go about modifying things like donning and doffing a shirt or a jacket to reduce or keep the pain from recurring in your shoulder. So let's get started. First, I'm going to introduce you to my skeleton here, who we have named Tai Chi Tom. And poor Tai Chi Tom, he has really bad shoulders. So our shoulder is a ball and socket joint, however, it is not what we call articulating. Our hip is a ball and socket, but the joint actually, when we weight bear, it's articulating, they're touching. Whereas the shoulder is a freely suspended joint. It's a very complex joint. So unlike Tai Chi Tom here, who has a articulated shoulder joint, in reality that's not the case. I'm going to go ahead and dislocate his shoulder. Sorry, Tai Chi Tom. And what really happens is that we've got a little ball and socket, but it's not touching. So it's suspended. Our shoulder and our ball and socket is suspended. And this space right here between what's called the humeral head and this is called the AC joint is very tight. Just by natural circumstances, it's a very close quartered area in our body. And over time, what happens is these ligaments and tendons and soft tissue shortens, and so the ball gets even tighter until it's maybe even abutting the top of your clavicle. And as we rotate, the muscles get weak, then it's not in balance, and we can wear away the tendons and ligaments that go underneath the clavicle and attach to our shoulder. And that's what over time can give us a tear or a partial tear. So just that's a little bit, a very basic viewpoint of the anatomy of the shoulder. Now, let's talk about pain and when you call it shoulder pain. So shoulders have what's called referred pain. So when you have pain, it's not in your shoulder, so to speak. It is not specific to where the injury is. For instance, many of my patients would say that they have pain down here in the front, or some of them might have pain back here by the scapula. And then many of my patients complaining of pain down the side of the arm or on the outside of the deltoid, and they think that the injury is here, when in fact it's deep inside the shoulder joint. If you have pain running down here, this is where your bicep tendon is. And that pain is likely coming from the bicep, which is your big muscle here, and the tendon running through a tight spot there and creating some inflammation. So this is not referred pain. This is pain directly related to your bicep, which means that you probably don't need to go out and do a whole bunch of bicep curls. Rather, you probably need to give it rest. Now, that's sort of a singular issue with the shoulder, and fairly rare to have just a bicep tendon irritation or injury. Now, most of my patients would say, I've got pain here on the side of my shoulder, and they would want me to work the side of their shoulder. But in fact, this is referred pain. So the pain is deep in the shoulder and is probably coming from the rotator cuff, which is a series of tendons and ligaments that allow us to rotate our shoulder and have some stability. But it's referring the pain to the outside border of the shoulder. So if you have pain here, and particularly at night, then it's likely that you've got some rotator cuff pathology going on, whether it's simply inflammation or it could be a partial tear or a full tear. Now, if you have pain back here, back at the back of your scapula, that is likely coming from your neck and is nothing to do with your shoulder. It's a trigger point, and it's usually related to a neck issue rather than a shoulder issue. So those are usually the shoulder pain patterns that present themselves. Now let's look at specific motor problems or pain issues that are specific to the rotator cuff. Now the rotator cuff is made up of 4 primary muscles, and they all have specific systems, and they all have tendons that run up underneath that tight spot. And so the main thing you need to know is if you have weakness with external rotation, so if you're just standing there and you put your arm here and you keep your elbow at a pivotal point, I'm going to do it with this arm actually, and you rotate out like this, that is called external rotation. Now you notice I'm not coming up like this, just externally rotating my arm like so. All right, that is one of your primary movers or one of your primary rotator cuff muscles. And that muscle, if it's strong and intact, helps to pull this bone down and keep this space open for movement in general, balanced movement. So if you just simply take your hand onto the outside of your hand and you try to do external rotation and you find significant weakness there, then that is one of the rotator cuff muscles that could have a partial tear or a full tear. So one of the signs of rotator cuff injury is if you cannot do external rotation against resistance. So it's just a quick little test, or if it causes a lot of pain, especially down the side of your arm, then you might have a rotator cuff issue specific to that muscle. Another one is very telltale, and that is the inability to lift your arm up above 90 degrees. So if you can't take your arm out to the side and lift it up, okay, and notice I have the thumb up, that's important, don't do it with your thumb down, then you have a partial or potentially a partial tear or inflammation even of a specific muscle called the supraspinatus muscle. So oftentimes patients with pretty significant shoulder injuries will come in and they'll try to lift their arm like this, or they won't have that external rotation. And the third telltale sign is the inability to reach back into the back pocket or to tuck your shirt in. So if you can't take your arm back here and like put your wallet in your back pocket or put your arm into a sleeve, then you've got something going on with your rotator cuff. So those 3 things, external rotation, weak external rotation, the inability to lift your arm above 90 degrees without a problem, or the inability to reach back behind and put your shirt in, tuck your shirt in, or put your arm through a sleeve. So those 3 things are pretty good indicators that you might have something going on with your rotator cuff. Now, having said that, you can have a tear. You can have a partial tear, you can even have a full tear, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to run off and have surgery. Yes, you may go through a period of time of pain, and it's entirely individual and up to you, but you might want to just give it some time for your body to heal. There are a certain percentage of people who are walking around with rotator cuff tears and who have functional shoulders and don't have pain. They might have had pain at the initial injury, but after it rested and inflammation went down and they had some healing going on, they got their shoulder function back and they did not require surgery. So just because you have a tear doesn't mean necessarily that you need to run off and have surgery. I personally tend to be very reticent to encourage people to have surgery, so I would suggest that you maybe try a few of these things for a little bit to see if it will help reduce your pain. And and then of course, it's entirely up to you. So I can't make a medical recommendation, especially through YouTube. But I can give you some strategies to reduce pain and to reduce the inflammation. So let's do that next.